Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, let's talk pens. As you can see, this is my pen collection. I have a few. I have a variety of Mildliners, Pentel Touch, Chameleon pens, a whole lot of other random pens, Tombows, Microns, Crayola, Super Tips, Daiso pens, gel pens, Muji pens, you name it, I've tried it. Anyway, I want to talk Mildliners. Now, they can be a bit pricey, especially in Australia, where I am. And a lot of people say that they basically are a must-have pen, particularly for students and people who are bullet journaling. They give a really nice aesthetic to your notes or to your pages. However, do you need all of them? Do you need Mildliners at all to get the same look? This is a question that I've been asking myself as I've been going through my pens, thinking, well, if I was starting out and I was trying to keep to a budget, I'd want to know, what should I spend my money on? What would I get most value out of, I guess, or most versatility? So I'm going through some of my favorite colors here. I do have a packet of the neon ones as well, but I really didn't really like them. The colors weren't my thing. However, my daughter really likes them for her school notes, so that was a happy win for her. a free packet of Mildliners. So my two favorite packs in the Mildliners are these green, blue, grey, purple and reddish pink combination, and the ones on the bottom there in the blue, purple, yellow, orange and brown. I think together they're the most versatile, and so much so that I bought the brush version of these pens as well. I actually bought them when I was in Japan a couple of years ago, so I got them for a pretty good price there. So with the standard Mildliners, they have a highlighter tip at one end and a marker tip at the other. With the brush versions, they have a brush pen at one end and a thinner, like a fine liner type nib at the other. Now, the beauty of these is that if you are not only wanting to highlight your notes, I would probably go for the brush version of the Mildliner, because you can turn the brush nib on its side and use it to highlight. You can also do brush lettering, and I feel that the fine liner nib on the other end is thinner and more versatile than the felt tip on the end of the... just if you can hear that noise, that's my neighbour cutting his hedges, so just excuse that. Yes, so if you had to choose, if you had the budget and you wanted a pen that could do highlighting, brush lettering and some fine lining, I would go for the brush tip version. The colours are the same, but I just think it gives you a bit more versatility. The other thing I like, if you were gonna splurge and buy yourself 2 packs of Mildliners, I would suggest that you get the brush version of these colours here, as well as the brush version of the I'm just doing some swatching here, but to show you the different colours, but the brush version of the one that I swatched up the top with the green, the blue, the grey, the purple and the pink. And the reason for that is, if you are into bullet journaling or into making seasonal type spreads, or you think you might be, or you're into pen paling and you like doing seasonal type mail, then these 2 packets give you a great selection of colour palettes that are good for seasonal colourways. So I'll swatch that up and show you what I mean. So while I'm doing that, let's have a little chat. Did you like my new intro? I was looking at my old one, and you know, when I did that, I had 30 people subscribed to my channel, so you know, the old one looks a bit blurry and it was starting to irritate me. So I had a bit of a play around and I made something a little bit more interesting. Anyway, let me know what you think about the new intro. I should probably do an outro too, according to, you know, the people who know, but we'll see how I get there. I've been watching some other YouTube videos lately. You can learn so much, can't you? It really is an amazing community. I don't know when you get that community button up the top where you can have chats and things, but I like to use it on other channels. I find it really great way to talk to some of the creators with some of the channels I use, and also other people who watch. Anyway, I'm hoping maybe I can get the right number of subscribers that community option becomes live for me. Yeah, that'd be nice, be fun, hey. So this is I'm going to come back and talk about some of my other pens in another video. I was going to talk about just some of the other brands I have in terms of gel pens and Fineliners, and then I thought I'd do one on fountain pens too, but let me know if that's the sort of thing you're interested in down below. Let's get back to what I was saying before. So you can see here I've done the 3 different blocks of swatches using these 2 packs of pens, and I'll label them in a minute, but the one at the top left I feel makes it for nice autumn colours or warm spreads, cozy spreads, that sort of thing. The top right, winter, cool spreads, rainy days, your cool colours. Bottom left, spring, Easter, all things bright and beautiful, etc. And bottom right here, I'm putting together colours that I think reflect summer for me. Hot days, cool water, flowers, green grass. That's summer. So if you're thinking of purchasing some Mildliners, but you're on a limited budget, or you just don't want to commit to carrying around a lot of stationery either, and you want to get a lot of versatility, I would suggest going for these two particular packs in the brush version. Now, if you like these colours but you don't want to commit to Mildliners, if you stay watching, I'm going to show you a bit of a sneaky hack later, which will make it, you can get the same look, same options, but a lot more affordable, shall we say. And that's always a nice thing, isn't it? I think so. So next I want to talk about Chameleon Fineliners. Now, Chameleon pens, oh, they're so tempting, aren't they? They sort of come up on so many websites and YouTubes and things, and they just seem so magical. I saw some on sale. Look, it was probably a year ago that I got these, and because I'm going through my pens and trying to divest myself of some, that's why I've been swatching up, and I thought I'd just make this video while I was doing it to give myself a bit more of a purpose just than tidying up. I thought I might try and make something useful. So with these Chameleon pens, they're I want to say gimmick, but that doesn't really sound very nice, does it? So their thing is that they're chameleon, they change colour, and how they, oh, now I've got a motorbike past, anyway, how they do that is by, you swap the lids, you give them a shake, you leave them on for say between 15 and 20 seconds, and the colour from the lid transfers to the colour of the pen, and as you write, the ink changes back to the colour that the pen is originally. I purchased these in a 0.3, have I just written 3.3 millimeters? Anyway, they're a very fine tip. I think they are 0.3, and I'm writing a little essay to myself there whilst changing the colours, and I wanted to really like them, but I don't really like the nibs. They're very inconsistent. Some are soft, some are hard and scratchy. They don't consistently transfer the colour from the lids to the pens. You never know quite if you're just going to get one word or 15 words. They're too thin for colouring in. Yeah, this is a purchase I regret. Brush pens. Okay, so we talked about the brush pen with the Mildliner brush version. And I got these Pentel Touch brush pens for my birthday last year. There was a sale on them, and my daughter very nicely purchased them for me. I think she went halves with her dad, but you know. I like how they have a glittery barrel. So I'm just going to do some writing here. Now, I am by no means an expert brush letterer, so all I can do is my best. I'm very slow, so I do a lot of speeding up in this part. But I get results that I'm happy with, you know, for addressing pen pal, envelopes and so forth. So I'm just going through the various brands I have. So this is a Tombow, and it's got a dual brush pen, grey on one end, black on the other. You can see I'm comparing the nibs there. The nibs look quite similar. to the Pentel Touch. And I actually find these nibs a bit stiff, and I find it harder to write with. Now, a lot of this is personal preference, so you do have to keep that in mind. So that's the black end. You can see, I think the black is it's a bit of a nicer black, a deeper black. But I think the grey in the Pentel is a nicer grey. Here is the Tombow Fudenosuke. Oh gosh, pronunciation always trips me up. This is the hard tip as well. I find it it's easier in some respects than the other version of the dual tipped, but definitely the Pentel is still easier again. Here I am with my Tombow ABT brush pen. You can see it's a massive difference in the nibs, and you have to do basically big writing with this. It's really hard to do small writing. The nibs very soft, but it's great for brush lettering headings, or if you're doing word art. I've just ruined the W there. That's alright. I'll disguise it with a love heart. And yeah, so it moves really beautifully, but you can see the amount of real estate that pen requires, which, you know, in some circumstances is probably excellent. But if you're trying to keep your brush lettering small, I'm just doing a little direct side-by-side comparison with the Pentel. Yeah, it's can be a bit hard to make it smaller. Here's another one that I don't think gets much airtime, which is the Faber-Castell Pitt brush pen. I'm a big fan of the Pitt pen line, probably because of my technical drawing background. They're nice, really nice pens in general to do technical drawing with. So I really find this comfortable in the hand, and it kind of sits in the middle between the massive Tombow brush and the Pentel Touch. It also comes in a variety of colours, and what I'm trying to sort of show here is that it has really nice ink effects. A lot of variation or gradation in the ink when you're writing. Yeah, it's comes in a lot of colours as well, and they're not particularly expensive, and they're a standard size as well. Sometimes the long Tombow brush pens don't fit in a standard pencil case. Now, I went through all my others and my video cut out, I don't know why. So here's what I did. I also got a Crayola Super Tip, and I did some faux brush lettering with that. It doesn't give such a magical result, but it certainly does give the same effect. With a bit of practice, you can really make it look very good. The next one is the Wink of Stella brush pen. It's really juicy, really flexible, really hard to use, but it's sparkly. The next are these Sailor Shikiori brush pens, which also have a fine liner on the end. Very fine, as you can see. They're really nice to use as well. They kind of sit in between the big Tombow, the Pitt, and the Pentel. Nice colours. And then I found this at Daiso brush pen. It's really juicy, really hard to use. I think it's for traditional, what would you call it, like calligraphy, for, word escapes me, for Chinese and Japanese characters, but it's really, really hard to use. So I'm just doing a little comparison of the nibs there. Sorry about the camera shake, I was doing this on my phone. So the sailors do have lovely inks, but yeah. And that's the Crayola Super Tip. So you can see it's not a brush tip per se. So if I had to choose again, these would be my picks. If I could have a little bit of a splurge, I would go for these 2 packs of the Zebra Mildliner brush version. I would go for the Faber-Castell Pitt brush marker and the Pentel Touch. These ones are also, the Pitt are also waterproof, which is can be very handy if you're addressing envelopes and they're going through the mail. So they are definitely my splurgy tips. Plus they both come in lots of nice colours as well if you want to build your collection up over time, because you can purchase them both individually. Now the other thing I want to point out is that if you want to be on a really tight budget, you can actually get a very, very similar range and colours, and by using, I'm just sort of showing you there all the different, my favourite ones, what they look like. So Crayola Super Tips. Okay, so if you're on a really tight budget, or you're not entirely sure you want to commit to all these pens, go and grab yourself a big box of Super Tips. You can get the same colours. I'm showing you, I've swatched the Super Tips next to the Mildliners, and they're pretty identical. You can do brush lettering with some practice, but you can get the same look. You can highlight, you can brush letter, you can colour in. If you love the sparkle, get one of these clear Wink of Stella, and you can do it over the top of all your Crayolas or your other pens, like I've done here. Same look. Thank you for watching. See you next time.